Welcome back to the channel.
And welcome back to rebuilding a Nissan Pulsar. Didn't really need to do that. GTiR Part 3. So if you missed Part 1, I'll leave it linked above, depending on where it actually is, on how it flips.
I like the little dance.
Yeah, I know. We should have seen me shuffling in. Basically, this is our project car, my project car, but we're doing it here on the channel.
Yep.
It's a Nissan Pulsar GTiR. First episode was showing you know, dropping it off and things like that. Second episode, we tried to bleed the clutch slave cylinder to no avail. And in today's episode, what are we doing next?
We're going to be changing the valve cover gasket potentially. Well, we have to just have an investigation underneath the cam cover just to see if the engine has been upgraded, because it looks like a new engine.
Well, basically, we're actually just going to be taking off the cam cover today and having a look at the engine. We're not going to replace it yet because we can't do a full service. We're missing some service parts, like the dipstick.
So I'm told if the engine got it, you don't know.
Yeah, exactly. It's all guesswork. So basically, it's a bit of an exploratory mission. We're just going to be taking apart the engine, the top end anyway, and having a look. So join us. So cam cover, or valve cover, cam cover, valve cover, whatever you want to call it, wherever you are in the world, consists of normally better bolts than this piece of crap, which I think we might end up replacing. I think I can buy like a dress up bolt kit.
Probably, for the whole set.
Yeah, so probably do that. So basically, we're going to take these off. This is sort of a coil pack, but not. I don't even actually know what the system is particularly.
There's a disty there, so it's actually old-fashioned.
Yeah, no, it's completely different to the other SR20 I've got, which is interesting. So we're going to take all of this off and then just lift the valve cover off. But it looks in pretty good nick, doesn't it, Nick?
Yeah, it looks really, really good. And from that image just then, you would have seen that the engine is pretty clean, ignoring the header for the turbo.
Oh, what's that? What do you mean?
Well, that's old.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
no one cares about that. No big deal.
The turbo manifold, that's what I'm trying to say, not a header.
Wire wheel it up.
Yeah, who cares? I mean, might even replace it. But the hopefully we've got some interesting cams under here. That's what we're looking for today.
Hopefully. This is a weird bolt, isn't it? What the fuck is that?
Well, if you look at this one on the back here, that is just a standard bolt that you get from just a lock bolt.
That's terrible, isn't it?
So these are the factory ones at the front.
Yeah.
That's what a factory bolt.
Yeah, well that's exactly the same as what we've got on the other in the truck SR20.
Buying someone else's project, someone has had a go at this and got bored halfway or lost the bolts.
Yeah.
In the wrong box. They might even be in the car, you know.
Yeah, true.
Because there is the whole centre console is full of nuts and bolts and pounds and.
True. You are right. I think engine bay dress up. Let me know down below in the comments. Engine bay dress up bolts. What do you think?
And where can we get them?
I'm pretty certain. Oh yeah. I'm pretty certain we can get them on eBay. To be fair. Yeah. So that's what we're going to do. We're just going to start taking the bolts. Oh no, start actually detaching bits and pieces first.
Yeah, we need to get the throttle cable off.
It's not terrible though. Do I want to? Of course I'm going to show the camera. Do I want to? So it's not terrible. The ones in the truck were worse than this.
Yeah, they're not bad. What brand did I didn't take that there?
Oh, okay. I mean, I'm showing.
Sorry. No, they're really good. They're Iridium NDKs.
So we've got NGKRs. What's the PFR 7Bs? Not terrible. Not terrible condition at all. Slight bit of oil, slight bit of fouling on it, but not atrocious. So it'll be interesting to see what the rest of these are like.
Yeah, it's a good branded.
Well, good brand, but I mean the condition of it is not atrocious. Like I've seen worse.
Yeah. It just looks like it's been running a little bit rich.
Mm.
I'd say.
Which is to be expected if it's got all this aftermarket stuff and doesn't have a better tune.
Yeah.
So that's not terrible.
Yeah. Let's see what the rest of them are like. If it's not igniting properly, there could be some unburnt fuel on the top of the pistons, and that could be what that little bit of damp is on the end of the spark plug as well. See, that's a nice even. That's the same. That's good.
That's not too bad.
No, it's lost the same brand, hopefully. Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, they'd have bought them as a pack, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
Be difficult to change one over. That's not bad. So this is actually starting to look pretty decent as things go. It just looks like it's probably been running a little bit rich, I'd imagine. Although you can't really see down there. I was trying to turn the flash on.
What does that one look like? Yeah, it looks similar. So the pistons are a tad damp, but I mean, it could be anything, just moisture from being sat, not being run at all for ages and ages.
Well, it hasn't been.
Exactly.
It's been off the road since 2014.
That's kind of the point, isn't it? And every time the bloke started it, I'd imagine it washed the pistons and just didn't ignite it quite as well as it would have if you had a proper tune on it. See, that's what you want to see on spark plugs. That if there is a little bit of colour on them, it's the same across all the plugs, and that is exactly the same on every one of them.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
So that's pretty good. And same brand, is it?
So another NGK. Another good thing is if you're ever replacing the spark plugs, and you're going to keep, no, sorry, not replacing it, taking the spark plugs out and going to reuse them, keep them in the order that you took them out and put them back in that order.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I've got them on the floor down there in the order that they're in the engine, and because they're actually quite good, I wouldn't say you necessarily need to change them yet.
Well, we're going to, because I've got fresh ones.
The only reason I say maybe don't do it yet is if you're going to get it tuned. Oh, that one is brand new, and it doesn't look like that's doing anything.
So maybe it is running lumpy on one.
Yeah, maybe it's...
Maybe it's only running on 3 cylinders.
Yeah, it could be running on 3 cylinders,
So we haven't been able to show you actually firing yet, although I have had it running. And we've not been able to do it because we don't have any of the belts. We've got them now, but they weren't installed. So that's interesting.
Here is a comparison between...
Yeah, that doesn't look like it's been doing anything.
No, it looks like it's brand spanking new. I mean, so does the other one. They're in good condition, but there is definitely a difference between those, isn't there? And if you actually look at, I mean, you can't on the camera, which is a shame, but if you look into the bore of here, that piston is completely white.
Yeah.
You see? And then look in another one of them, it's white.
Right, so what we're going to be doing now is literally just putting the spark plugs back in. So that sort of explains to us, or at least gives us some indication of the health of the engine and the potential for other things to purchase. So it looks like maybe it's not been sparking on one cylinder, which is nothing too major, nothing to be too concerned about. And after we've done this, we'll literally just pop the cam cover off, remove some cables and wires and things, take the cam cover off, and then that'll be the real sort of identifier, I guess. And the reason why we're putting them back in is just so nothing like falls in there, basically.
Yeah.
It's better to have it
even a little bit of dirt.
up.
Yeah, not a whole bolt or anything, just a bit of gasket or.
Well, you just don't want any of that crap,
anything in there, no. And I'm only doing it hand tight so that we can take it back out easily in a second. Cool.
I think that's the first, isn't it?
Yeah, I haven't lost a little rubber bit inside and have to go get some tweezers.
there's a little rubber washer in the spark plug remover bolt thing, and every single time, without fail, it gets left inside on one of the spark plugs.
Sometimes you don't realise, and you only when you put the plugs back in, they won't work.
That's what I meant.
Get.
Oh no!
What is it?
I've got my hand on the gasket's on it, and it's on me. So let's make sure the gasket doesn't go anywhere. Yes, it's going in it now. Look, there you go. That's why.
Shit! Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck.
Oh, that's awful. RTV gasket.
I know, it's fucked, isn't it?
Up the bum, isn't it?
Let's put that. I mean,
I was say this little that again.
Oh. let's have a look properly then. Right, so got the valve cover off, obviously, and it's horrendous in terms of RTV gasket. They didn't even use. I don't even know if it is.
I don't know.
Really?
Well, it's everywhere. It's not even on these centre gaskets. I don't know if we're going to be able to get these out very easily, you know?
No, you'll be able to. We'll be able to. It's more the stuff in here that, I mean, look at this.
It's awful.
It's horrendous. So this is how not to do it, and we will show you how to do it when we actually put it back together. This is.
It looks like the slime out of Alien.
It does, yeah, yeah. So not terrible, but it needs some work, which is obviously what we're going to do. We'll clean it up.
We have to have a look at the cams in a bit.
It's actually in better condition than the other SR20 though, in terms of how much oil and grime's in it.
Yeah,
like that is, and it is actually in much better condition.
And to be fair, we can pull all this off and clean it. Sorry.
Yeah.
We can pull it off and clean it quite easily.
Well, that's what we're going to do. Pressure wash it down. Not today, but that's just to show you it. And now let's actually show you the cams.
So now we've got it off. We want to have a look at one, are the cams stock, and I think they probably are stock. And two, try and get an idea of why that spark plug that was perfectly clean might be perfectly clean. I can't remember the exact names of these because I'm not that good with engines or names yet, but these I believe are your valve guides and potentially the lifters that are above them. Some of them are loose.
Yeah, there's two that are loose, and the two at the end seem okay.
Well, I mean, that one's loose as well. I don't actually know if they're meant to be loose or not, or they're loose because some of them are compressed and some of them aren't. So I'm guessing it's just the fact that some of them are compressed based on where the pistons are at the moment.
It could be actually.
Yeah, because actually, in fact, that cam's up, so that one's going to be loose. Down. That one's not quite touching it. That one is down. So I think that's all it is.
Oh, well, that's good.
The ones on the end where the spark plug.
Are very clean.
Yeah, they're very, very clean comparatively to the one to the right. Good thing is, there's not any scoring that I can tell on the lobes, so you can't feel any.
I mean, it looks
like it's
just upon looking at it, it looks in relatively okay condition. The actual condition of the head, the block.
Yeah, the actual block itself. Yeah. The head
looks all right. Because the other one had some scoring on it as well from other people working on it.
Yep.
This is in better condition than that. It just needs a big tidy up, doesn't it, really?
Yeah, I mean, it really isn't in a bad condition. We'll give it a bit of a clean. Not too much, you only really want to clean around the edge where it's been touched before. But it's not as bad as your Datsun truck was, because we don't actually have to get a razor blade and scrape off all the crap, because they put on this weird snot-like substance everywhere.
It's not proper RTV, is it?
No, it's not. That's not going to... I mean, if I can pull it off with my finger, that's not going to hold the pressure of the engine, is it?
It's a weird... It's very strange.
And you shouldn't put it everywhere. It should only be on the corners.
Well, yeah, because we did it on the Datsun truck. It's very odd what they've done here. There is actually seagulls.
By the seaside.
We're in the country. What the hell's going on?
I want some chips.
Right, so, ladies and gents, we've actually just had another look at those sort of cam lifter things. Don't think that's anything to be worried about or think about or anything like that, because there's a few of them actually the same colour. So, in the engine rebuild, it may be that they actually just changed them over or changed one or two of them over. Yeah. Who knows? Don't really know. Yeah. Just as well we didn't try to do the gasket today. I stupidly ordered, and it is stupidly, I ordered the same as my Datsun pickup truck, and it's not the same. It's actually entirely unique to this version of the SR20. Of all things. So I've ordered another one, it arrives Thursday, so that's fine. But yeah, like
it's in really good condition. That's the important thing, is that we've taken
what did you think about the oil? You said something about the oil.
Yeah, so I mean, I'll just get a little bit on my finger, right? Because we're right at the pickup lines in the engine, and I mean, I've got it on my hand, and can you tell? No, you can't. That is clear oil.
It's very clear.
Although we don't have a dipstick to be able to check if it's anywhere. It's
two
got oil
dipsticks without a dipstick.
Oh, hang on. You call a dipstick.
You, obviously.
Top tip: if you ever want to check your oil, take your entire
that's the best way to go.
Take the valve.
Just take the valve cover off.
It's got oil in it, mate.
It does. I'm really impressed with that, to be fair. So we still have to identify obviously why it's making that noise. Yeah. Because one of the spark plugs looks brand new, it's probably that, or timing, which is something that the previous guy said, but maybe unlikely to be fair.
What we can try, just to rule out the fact that that spark plug might be dead, change the spark plugs over and then start the car again when we've got the belts on. So you can listen for a different area tapping on the engine.
That's true.
So what we need to do next is, well, essentially fit the new gasket when it comes. Have a look at fitting it correctly, making sure the spark plugs, we could try swapping some spark plugs over, but I think we need to get into maybe taking this part of the car apart slowly, just so we're getting ready to take the, just taking these ancillary parts off whilst we're here, so that we can start getting down to the
oh
belts.
God, yeah, okay, yeah. So we need to do all the belts actually, because we can't actually start the car. So probably not a good idea to even check about the misfiring issue until we've actually got the belts on. I forgot about the belts.
The belts
That's really annoying.
You haven't forgotten about them, they just left your mind because it's such a nightmare of a job.
On purpose, yeah. So that's probably going to be the next episode, is prepping for the belts, which will probably be a whole bunch of time lapses, and then we will probably actually just do the belts all in one go. Valve cover is a good idea though in terms of the gasket. That's going to be quite easy, and that's it really. I think hopefully in the next episode it'll be get the belts on, valve cover will be back on, and identify why we've got maybe a misfire or maybe a timing issue. That should, I think we could probably do all that in one episode. I think so. Yeah, we'll have to spend a fair bit of time on it, because we can investigate some stuff, some different things. I said swapping the spark plugs over, but also just pulling the plug out whilst it's running to see if it actually makes any difference. Because if it doesn't, then you know which ones. You know exactly what's going on.
And then you can just buy. Because we need to, as we said in another episode, eliminate the cheapest stuff first.
Yeah.
Because if it's an HT lead, new HT lead, what's that?
Easy.
12 quid.
Well,
like that.
if you can find them, the RNN 14, that's what it's called, the Nissan Pulsar GTiR, is really hard to find bits for, to be fair. So we'll see how it goes. But hopefully you enjoyed this episode. Again, bit of an exploratory episode. I think the main thing that I'm pleased about is actually these are not in bad condition at all. Like really nice. It's all solid. The cams look fine. It all looks actually really, really decent, which is great. Like when you've got someone else's car and you've never actually driven it before, because we haven't, and it's now mine and it's a project. Engine, is it actually good or not? Is it crap? Because the engine's obviously going to be the most expensive. So it being good is positive and really, really great.
Yep.
So I hope you enjoyed this episode of rebuilding a Nissan Pulsar GTiR. My hand is really, really shaky now, trying to hold this goddamn thing up. Because my arms are heavy, that's why.
A bit small, mate.
It's because that is really, really painful. It's literally shaking. It's going to start doing it again. Anyway, if you enjoyed it, please do hit subscribe, like the video. Take care.
Love you, bye.